we don't want anybody to log in and happen to see a lower price than what they bought. If a customer logged in and saw a higher price than when they did not log in or when they called, that would be a very negative customer experience for our customers.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the WBS Podcast. I'm Sam Gupta, your host and principal consultant at digital transformation consulting firm Elevate IQ. If you are a complex distribution business with manufacturing as part of your business model, your business processes are likely to be more complex than most traditional distribution and manufacturing businesses. It's even harder if you plan to penetrate digital channels along with selling through distributors. You have issues such as e-commerce not talking to your ERP, then issues such as consistent pricing that need to be communicated across channels. Finally, you might have channel conflict issues that may not be in your control. In today's episode, our guest, Billy Hens, shares his insights into the B2B e-commerce journey for a construction distribution business. He also shares his insights into different ways of integrating ERP and e-commerce and how to make a decision when overlapping functionality may exist in these systems. Finally, he shares the best practices of managing pricing across channels and how to integrate with Amazon channels in the hybrid scenarios where you might be selling through distributors as well as DTC. Let me introduce Billy to you. Billy has over 10 years of experience in scaling digital strategies for mid-size B2B distributors. He currently leads digital initiatives at Haynes Supply. With that, let's get to the conversation. Hey, Billy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sam, thanks for having me on. Excited to talk a little bit about what we've done with e-com at Haynes Supply.
Yeah, and I am super excited to dig into those stories as well. I think this is going to be super educational for our listeners. As you know, in the manufacturing and distribution community, people are not as savvy with their e-commerce skills as you are. So this is going to be so fascinating. Just to kick things off, do you want to start with your personal story and your current focus, Billy?
Sure. So I work for Haynes Supply. It's an industrial construction supply distributor headquartered in Buffalo, New York. We have 7 locations, mostly in the Northeast.
Okay.
I started at Haynes Supply 10 years ago, actually doing inventory. It's a family business. I'm the son of the owner. Yeah. I started cleaning shelves and noticed a lot of dead inventory that I wanted to get rid of. So I was putting it on eBay and Amazon, etc. Yeah. That was starting to work pretty well. So I decided to start putting products for sale that were not dead inventory. We're trying to grow that channel and sell more at first on marketplaces. And that started to develop and become a bigger part of the business. And now we have about 7 people working on that end of the business, just for marketplaces and e-com. And we're excited about continuing to grow that part of our business. But it's been a great journey from 10 years ago to now, and a lot of stories and experiences that have gotten us to this point and geared for the future.
Very cool. So it's going to be super exciting to dig into, those stories. But before we do that, we have one of these standard questions that we ask every single guest. And that is going to be, Billy, your perspective on business growth.
Yeah. So, it's as we go on, as you've heard before, B2B is critical for any legacy brick and mortar business to try to transform a lot of that business to their digital branch. We have started that process at Haynes with our HaynesSupply.com site. We've done that through years to get it up and running to this point where we're starting to transform some of our legacy customers that have been dealing with us via either stopping in a store or sending a PO where they now have login access to our website to be able to purchase and look up old orders, do all those kinds of things. So that's what we're focused on in growth. There's a lot now. While Amazon is powerful and has all the all the bells and whistles. They don't have the product knowledge, the specified product knowledge that many of our sales associates and customer service reps have to be able to assist the customer. So that's where we see the true growth lever, is trying to get more and more people to interact with us digitally.
Okay, very interesting. So now we are going to dig into a little more into your business so that people have a better understanding of the story and they are able to follow along. So here you mentioned that you have roughly 7 locations. I don't know if these are the individual locations, are these legal entities from the interaction perspective of different branches that we have. And then you mentioned some of the customer channels. So I don't know if your customers are going to be primarily the contractors, because you are in the construction supply business. So I don't know if they are the individual contractor, these are businesses. So do you want to talk about the overall structure of the business from the legal perspective, as well as how many different warehouses you have, and then finally touch on the customer channels as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. So Hain Supply is both a distributor and a manufacturer as well. We manufacture below the hook lifting devices, mostly slings, wire rope, nylon, polyester slings. So we're a little bit interesting in the fact that we manufacture and we distribute. But all 7 of those branches are brick and mortar distribution and sales hubs for the business. There's 2 locations that do most of the manufacturing of the items I just talked about. Yeah, so that's how we go to market as a one-stop shop for all of our customers, which mostly are in that contractor space, whether it be mechanical, electrical, anybody that needs products for industrial construction supply, ranging from a small mom and pop shop to a large government entity or a power generation entity. So we kind of hit all the bases there.
Very interesting. So I don't know what is going to be the distribution of the manufacturing, versus the distribution. I don't know if you are able to provide sort of the segmentation of how much manufacturing you guys do versus the distribution, because that is going to drive a lot of decisions from the e-commerce perspective. That is going to drive a lot of decisions from the system perspective, which system you are going to be selecting to process your transactions. So are you in a position to provide some insights into how much manufacturing are we talking about, how complex your manufacturing is, how complex your products are when you are manufacturing? Do you typically keep them in stock, or are you producing them per order basis as you get from the customers?
So on the manufacturing side, we're mostly a made-to-order shop, where we're getting orders for specific jobs from engineers, et cetera, and customers that have specific requirements for each order, variable lengths on different slings. But obviously on the distribution end of things, your power drills, your hoists, your general hand tools, all that, we're stocking in all of our locations to quickly serve the needs of our customers.
Okay, very interesting. So let's talk a little bit more about the manufacturing. So you mentioned that now when you talk about the manufacturing, which is going to be your very custom order centric versus your distribution, where I'm pretty sure you are buying these products from somewhere, from some of the suppliers. So the way you are actually going to structure your e-commerce channels and the supply channels for both of these businesses are going to be very different. So how have you structured overall from the business perspective so that you can run both of these businesses? Do they have completely different teams, completely different processes from the inventory perspective? Do you want to touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, so no, it's all one team. It's obviously there's a manufacturing associates that are doing the labor to get the product out, and there's processes around that. But all of our sales associates are selling the whole market basket, and that the whole market basket is available to any sales associate. And when it comes to e-com and digital strategy, it's the same thing. So if you go on our website, you're going to be able to buy a manufactured product from Hain Supply, say a large wire rope sling, but then you could also buy a Milwaukee power drill and a ladder and all that, and get it delivered to your job site the next day. And that's really the key of what we're trying to build on at Hain's is to get more people to interact with us digitally by logging in, getting tax exemptions, having credits, having all those things that are value adds that you could do at say 9 o'clock at night if you're on a job site when say our offices are closed, but you could get those orders in, and then boom, it'll be ready to get to your job site in the morning. That's that's the value add that we are continuing to work towards in B2B and get more customer adoption.
Okay, very interesting. So let's talk about the customer journeys, right? So obviously each customer is going to be different. Each customers are going to have very different needs, especially when we look at the customer channels that you mentioned, that some of the customers are going to be your government customers, which are probably be ordering, I don't know, maybe for a lot of different sites. Their orders are going to be very complex. Their invoicing process is going to be very complex. Then your typical contractors, they are typically going to be ordering, hey, I'm at a site, I'm actually trying to order, can you get me this, maybe tomorrow, because these guys are, trying to build my time and I want to make sure that I'm kind to them. So the way your orders are going to be very different. The way your production processes are going to be very different. The way your planning processes are going to be different. So how do you manage these customer channels when you are looking at two different customer channels? One is going to be very, very, very B2B centric versus a little B2B, because those are not going to have as complex requirement, right?
Right. So it all comes down with all that is to have your website have the functionality and the knowledge built in to deliver a customer experience on there, so they know what they're getting. So having proper stock quantities, making sure that product is available in that branch, so that if a customer orders it, they know they're going to get it the next day. Whether say if there's a customer in Connecticut and the product is available in only Buffalo, we need the customer to understand that they're not going to get it on one of our trucks that morning, would have to go through our supply chain a little bit. So it's all building that website functionality and flexibility to give your customer exactly what they're a good experience, so they know exactly what they're going to get when they're on the site, and then getting used to using that process and finding value add in it. Is very important. And what also is very important is to get your organization to buy into that. Your sales associates are not viewed as a threat, but viewed as an opportunity, as a value add that many companies do not have in our space. Many do, but a lot don't. So trying to build that for the future and get our associates to buy in to using the website as a value added tool over a threat is a hurdle that we are working through, and getting more adoption, not only from our customer, but also our own associates is critical going forward for us to be more successful.
Okay, very interesting. So I am going to tell you, some of the scenarios that we typically see in our customer base, and I don't know how big you guys are overall from the revenue perspective, from the employee size perspective. Maybe you want to provide a little bit, picture there so that people have the appropriate context. How big is the company? In our case, when we deal with other SME distributor manufacturers, let's say if you are talking about $50 million or companies, then their e-commerce is typically not going to be connected with their ERP. And as you know, when you are serving these orders, when you say that, I have a product, let's say in Connecticut, I may not have in Buffalo or vice versa. So you need the accurate reflection of your inventory as you are producing, as you are transferring this to appropriate locations, as they are consuming, when they are going to book the sales order, when they are procuring the inventory from the procurement. This all needs to be aligned. And that is not going to be aligned unless your systems are talking to each other. So in your case, the way your systems are structured, are they talking to each other? Are they not talking to each other? How do you structure your inventory?
Yeah, so this is very complex, takes a lot of planning and a lot of execution. We're fortunate to have a good team here at Hanes that has built a lot of processes to make this all work and be a real growth driver in the future. Yes, our ERP is tied into our website, so we have live availabilities. We have the ability, even with our tax software, to be integrated with the website for tax exempt orders. That also helps with credit, so that you have credit for customers that may be on net 30 or net 15, however they're set up. Also, the ability to give a customer the ability to look at past invoices and past orders and all those types of value added functions of a website. Because as we all know, as the 30-somethings or 20 to 30-somethings get older, they're going to want to interact and work as they do at home when they're buying for themselves or for their family or friends. They would like to I know I deal with Hanes. I know they give me good service. I'd love to just go on there, place the orders, not have a whole lot of stress, not really have to pick up the phone unless there's a real question about an item that I can't find on the product detail page. So we continue to invest in different softwares, different data, different teams to build those experiences out. And it has we've been very fortunate to have a good team here that's built to put us in a position where we can grow.
Okay, very interesting. So, one of the things that we typically face in our customer base when they have, let's say, the e-commerce site, and I don't know if your e-commerce site is custom developed by your own team, or if you are utilizing any sort of platforms that are available off the shelf in the market, and the same goes for ERP as well. I don't know which ERP you have. Is it going to be your custom developed, or you are utilizing some of the standard packages from the market? But one of the challenges that we typically face, especially if your ERP is going to be on cloud, I don't know if you're on cloud or you are maintaining internally. Typically, the ERP and e-commerce, when they are talking, there is going to be a situation that ERP goes down for a certain number of hours. Now, I don't know if your e-commerce also goes down for a certain number of hours, because you still need to maintain, you need to do patching, you need to do upgrade. So that is the challenge that a lot of customers are facing at this point of time, because ERP systems, especially in the cloud world, they are not there yet to be able to provide that 24/7. In the traditional world, if you go back, let's say the enterprise customers, typically they have to have a bunch of servers, and then they will actually route the traffic. Okay, if this goes down, then the traffic goes here. I'm actually going to upgrade this. And then finally, I will be upgrading each of them in sequence. So, one of the server in the meantime, till this one is getting upgraded, this one is going to be alive, but maybe on the old version, it's not going to be the new version. So that's how they had handled this problem traditionally. Are you guys experiencing this problem in your business right now? How have you handled? I don't know if you are 24/7 or you have made the process change that, what, my business is going to be down for Friday evening because nobody really purchases us because we are a different business. So how do you handle this scenario?
Yeah, so Haynes, we're on SX Enterprise, which is an Infor product, which is a very good product for us because it handles our complexity of being a manufacturer and distributor. And we are using Magento for both of our websites. We have a B2C website as well that does the marketplace selling and other selling on its own website. But in terms of the ERP and when it goes down or when there's any kind of issue with that, it does take our website down at this time, and it gives us problems where orders won't be coming through, etc. So that we're fighting through that, trying to figure out how we're going to alleviate that issue. But as of right now, we don't have a great answer for that other than the orders being backfilled when it goes down and being written up manually sometimes if there's where things are getting kind of like what happened yesterday with AWS and all the issues that caused with so many different platforms. So we're kind of beholden to the ERP staying up to keep all the systems in place at this time. But we are moving to the cloud, and we're moving to the cloud in hopefully the next year, and that'll help a lot of things keep us up more regularly and have a little less risk.
Yeah, so technology is definitely fun. You are going to have a lot of newer challenges. Obviously, it's going to help with a great degree in terms of tracking and providing you the information and data that you really need to make those business decisions that are going to be aligned with your customer preferences. But now you are going to have different challenges. So now on your comment about the SX product that you have, SXE product that you have mentioned from Infor, obviously that's a very distribution-centric product. And initially when I had asked, okay, what is the segmentation of your business, manufacturing versus distribution? So it seems like you would be more distribution, less manufacturing. The SX product, that it's really designed for the very light manufacturing. So I don't know how complex your products are from the manufacturing perspective. I don't know if you are able to talk a little bit about, how complex your manufacturing is. Have you found any sort of shortcomings when you are dealing with the manufactured orders? Because these are your custom orders that your customers are ordering. So I'm pretty sure this might be a little complex overall from the manufacturing perspective. So have you found any sort of limitations that you cannot handle with the distribution product?
We haven't found anything that we cannot do. That's why it's such a great product for us. But it is definitely a little bit of cumbersome where when we have to write up a custom sling and it has such length and such components that you need to. It's a little bit of a manual process. But but it's to be a distributor like we are mostly, and it's about 80-20 distribution to manufacturing.
Okay.
So, but a key part of our business is that manufacturing, and it's a leader for us to get open up new doors, and actually our specialty and what the business was founded on. But yeah, on the ERP side, it was the best solution we could find that could handle both efficiently and keep our business processes moving forward. We've been very fortunate to have SX to do a lot of different things. From the reporting side is much better. The ability to do a lot of more things. Obviously a lot less paperwork. There's a lot of different variables that went into that decision. But the biggest ones were we're able to grow going forward and keep our manufacturing processes intact and mostly the way we were doing things in the past, so that there wasn't too much business disruption. We pride ourselves when we transformed from the fax product, we had very little to no business disruption. You hear the horror stories of ERP implementations and changes going to SAP or whatever, where companies go down. And we've had many vendors that do that change, and we can't order product for them for a couple months. We did not want that to be a story for us, and we were fortunate to pull it off successfully. Some weekends were had, but our associates bought into the change. Some didn't like it, as usual with any major change going in a business. But that's just the nature of it. And we really had a successful implementation, and now it's put us in a position where I could even talk about the things that we're talking about today with the B2B website and some of the B2C e-com things we've done, and a lot of the other digital strategies and automations, bots, etc., that we've put into the business that could not have happened on our legacy ERP.
That's very interesting. So obviously, I would love to know a little bit more about, what you guys are working on with respect to the newer technologies. And one of the things that I really want to touch on is going to be that the adoption of the ERP versus e-commerce and the process boundaries. I think that's where most of the customers that we work with struggle. So we see two situations. When you look at e-commerce, when you look at ERP, obviously there is going to be a lot of overlapping functionality that, whatever e-commerce can do, probably ERP can do, and there is going to be a little bit of decision making involved. Okay, where to do what? For example, let's say I'll give you an example of the pricing. So a lot of customers, the way they handle pricing is they are going to keep everything in ERP, because each of the channels that you are serving, you need centralized pricing so that you don't have channel conflict. Now, some customers, what they do is, I don't like to deal with ERP because I'm a marketer. Okay, ERP is just too complex for me. I get into my accounting knowledge that I don't care for. As a marketer, I am looking for very simple interface. Give me a website, give me a very simple interface of the pricing. When you keep this pricing, let's say in your e-commerce, the challenge that you are going to run into is you are going to be limited to only those channels that are served by your e-commerce platform. Your ERP is going to have very different channels. When you are dealing with these wholesale customers, these orders are probably going to come directly to your ERP. So you are going to lose the insight into your centralized pricing and discount. So in your case, how have you guys handled this? Are you keeping all of your pricing discount inside your ERP? Is this information sitting in e-commerce as well? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So what we've done is, and again, thanks to our ERP and our team that's implemented it, we are using a pricing software. It does customer segmentation and also the volume of the customer. It creates a nice matrix for us that is in the ERP, and that ERP matrix pricing is what's pushed to the website when a customer logs in a B2B sense, and that's critical. So they can start to get consistent pricing, whether they visit our website, call us, chat function us on the website. However they're communicating with our associates, because we want it to be very consistent across our branches and our digital offerings. So, but when you're not logged into the HanesSupply.com site, we are going to show just a basic kind of B2C price, but a high B2C price. We don't want anybody to log in and happen to see a lower price than what they bought. If a customer logged in and saw a higher price than when they did not log in, or when they called, that would be a very negative customer experience for our customer. And So that's how we're handling that. And with our B2C site, which does the marketplace selling and also has its own website, that price is driven from actually the marketplace itself, from Amazon itself mostly is how we derive the price from repricing strategies on the platform. We'll kind of mirror that price from Amazon to our B2C site, which is actually per Amazon's policies as well, but to keep it consistent, again, across our B2C platform. So yeah, we want to be about consistency and functionality to our customers when it comes to digital, just like we are when we deal with them in a brick and mortar or offline scenario.
Okay, very interesting. So since you mentioned the pricing software, and I don't know if this is going to be a separate software from your ERP. I don't know if this is like a add-on that you have on top of your ERP that is feeding the customer segmentation and the pricing, or is it part of your ERP platform itself? Do you want to talk about that?
It is not part of our ERP offering. We added on with it. There are multiple options out there. You just have to figure out what's the best one for your company.
Yeah.
Now, you're always going to have, it's not just going to magically know, this is a mechanical contractor, this is an electrical, this is a plumbing. So it's not going to know exactly, out of the box. It's not going to figure out exactly what to do. But you're going to have some manual segmentation and making sure you're putting exceptions in and have, the contract-based pricing. So,
yeah.
You might say you're doing a bid and you can't always have that matrix pricing do everything, but mostly, yeah. So to answer your question, it's no, we did not. It did not come straight from the ERP, but it was an add-on that is absolutely crucial if you're going to have B2B business on your website.
Okay, amazing. So since you mentioned the Amazon, and Amazon could be slightly trickier to manage for most businesses. And when we work with our customers, obviously it's very challenging for them. And I don't know how complex your channel is. Some channels could be extremely complex. So one of the challenges that we are discovering with our customers, for example, let's say in your case, you are selling through your distributors, your contractors, and then you have your DTC strategy and you are selling through Amazon as well. Now, in case of a customer that we are dealing with right now, in their case, they are selling through distributors. They are also selling through some of your associations. Now, those associations could have a lot of members that are part of that association, right? So they don't really have any sort of product-specific tracking, so they cannot really track who is buying which product. Now, what you are going to get into is going to be a real channel conflict, especially on Amazon. So on Amazon, your pricing is not really controlled by you, it's controlled by Amazon. But what these guys are going to do is you have these contractors, distributors, I don't know if you have this problem, but they are going to sell the same SKU, the same product on Amazon through their account. So have you noticed similar trends in your company? If you have, how have you handled this situation to avoid channel conflict? Because you don't want to piss off your distributors, but at the same time, you want to attack the DTC strategy as well.
So yeah, this is a real hot button topic for many companies. Whether you're a distributor, a manufacturer, wholesaler, Amazon, you have to handle it one way or another. For us, since we have a team that when it comes to just Amazon, we have a team that's helping that's selling on the platform, and we are distributing for over 100 manufacturers now on the marketplace, on Amazon itself. Now, you have some companies that don't want you on the platform at all.
Okay.
Some of the vendors that we distribute for, they don't want you on there at all. Even though you're a value-added distributor, but they don't want you there either. Yeah, because they're selling themselves or they're selling direct to Amazon, and they don't want that channel conflict. Our view of it all is that since we're an actual value-added distributor, that has repair departments, you have no problems with warranties if you buy something on Amazon, that you'll be able to. So we try to promote ourselves as, let us take care of this Amazon problem for the manufacturer, and we'll handle it since we can do it. We'll always honor your map pricing. We'll handle the returns, all the issues that come with selling on Amazon. When the manufacturers try to do it themselves, it becomes in many cases difficult to do it themselves from a third-party stance. And then if you're going to sell to Amazon directly as a vendor via 1P, you're going to have a difficult time having Amazon follow your your MAP pricing, and that will result in your value dilution and having eventually whittling your product down to which hurts your distribution channels.
Yeah.
And because anybody can walk into a store these days, as we know, and just pull up their phone and say, hey, look, Amazon has this for this. Why are you? Yeah. So for the vendor, you really got to figure out a strategy of how you're going to handle Amazon. What we've found most successful with the manufacturers and vendors we deal with is having a subset of distribution that really knows how to sell on the platform, letting them kind of handle it, and letting them know that they're gonna be the ones who the distributor is gonna be the one who's gonna be able to set the MAP pricing and keep everything in line if you have enough experience selling on the platform. So that's that. I mean, I could go on for a long time about Amazon and some of the things we've done. But for ourselves, what we've done for our Hanes Supply brand, which we are selling as well on the marketplace, it's the same thing. You just being able to build that content, and then we would authorize if there was a couple other distributors that needed a sling manufacturer to distribute a product to their end users, we would allow only those who really could make it could do it in a professional way on the platform. Because as we know, more people start their product searches on Amazon now than Google, and that's probably only going to grow in the next few years. So it's an important topic that every company, and basically whether you're in any distribution, manufacturing, anything, wholesaling, you need to have a look at how you're being presented on Amazon or how you're dealing with the channel.
Very interesting, very, very interesting. So, one of the things that you mentioned is this whole, field service component, and that is going to be unique to your business that a lot of other manufacturing and distribution companies are not going to have. So in your case, let's say if a contractor is working on a specific site, then there is going to be a process that needs to happen at the site itself, which could be, let's say, if you are providing any sort of service. You mentioned warranty. That warranty is a big part. So I don't know how you are handling the warranties that are going to be part of your product, whether they are handled as part of your e-commerce platform, ERP platform, because there could be a little bit of overlap. So do you have the field service component that is going to have some sort of service order? There's going to be a little bit of inventory that is going to be required, and then there is going to be some sort of labor. So you are going to get order from the contractor. So I don't know if you have that. How are you guys handling that specific piece?
If we have any warranty issue, or and if it comes from whether it comes from our e-commerce offerings or it comes from our B2B on HanesSupply.com or somebody calling up, it all goes through the same system through our ERP, which is great. It is all connected, and we're able to do that. And then same thing with repair. We can have all that traced and handled. It does become complicated when you're dealing with a marketplace because you have to handle all that. That's not quite as connected when it comes to the marketplaces, because you have a warranty claim and all that. You kind of have to do a lot of messaging back and forth through Amazon's platform to make sure that that product does get replaced or does get repaired, or there is a specific question or a need for a product expert to talk about the product that was ordered on a marketplace like Amazon. So it's a little bit complex there, but luckily for us, we saw what was coming, and we kept it all under the ERP.
Very interesting. So when you look at this, the transactions from Amazon, my understanding of those transactions are going to be pure play distribution, and they are not going to be your job order and custom order. Are you able to get the job and custom orders from Amazon as well?
No, we don't have. So we're able to do the standard lengths. I mean, but we're not able to do anything very, very custom at this point. Amazon Business is building out custom quote requests. It's a new feature actually for them that a customer will be able to go in and kind of do a little bit more with a third party seller. But no, we're not able to do. And the tools have gotten better on Amazon when you're shopping to do a little bit more custom things. But for the most part, it's purchase SKU and we fulfill SKU. So it hasn't fully gotten there yet, like it would on over a phone call or on our own site.
Yeah, so very interesting. So even if they, let's say, introduce something like custom code, my understanding of their custom code is probably going to be they are probably going to have a bunch of text field, put your description, and then I'm going to get back to you with the code. I mean, that's not a real customer experience when you look at, some of the custom code functionality that today's customers are expecting. So I don't know if you have any sort of configurator that you have built on top of your website that can allow them to get a little bit of feeling before they talk to somebody, so that they are not investing as much time in back and forth when they are dialing salespeople. So do you have any sort of configurator functionality as part of your custom codes as well, or not right now?
We are looking at a couple options right now, so that my goal is going forward that any type of custom product that we make or have ever made in the past is available to be purchased online. There's some a map, basically an app essentially built in the website, and we've talked to a couple that are pretty interesting. So we're working on that. But as of right now, if somebody's looking for some custom and they're dealing with us digitally, they're either talking to us through chat or they're gonna call us. They're not even gonna try on the interface on the e-commerce sites as of right now. So yeah, that's to be determined.
Okay, amazing. So what are some of the things that you are really excited about when it comes to e-commerce? How do you see e-commerce or the digital commerce going forward, especially in the industry as traditional as you? I don't know how many of your competitors really have the capabilities that you have today, but what are you excited about and where you are putting your money on right now?
Yeah, our money is definitely to continue to build on the e-commerce functionality, to give a great customer experience and a consistent customer experience throughout our branches and throughout, hopefully as a growth lever, be able to expand and offer that value of, hey, customer XYZ contractor, you can come right on our site. You'll see exactly what we have in stock, and you'll be able to pick option A, truck delivered tomorrow morning, kind of like an Amazon Prime one-day solution. But also not just a machine. Also, a customer will have an outside sales rep support you, and a customer service team that can actually support you over just a pure point and click scenario. So that is what we are continually investing in as we see the tides continue to change over the next few years.
All right, amazing, Billy. So that's it for today. Do you have any last-minute closing thoughts or remarks for our listeners?
No, I just appreciate you having me on, Sam. I think if anybody has any questions about our process or what we went through and how long it's taken, the associates needed, the softwares that we've used in the past, I'd be happy to have a conversation with anybody about it and to expand my network, because I certainly have questions as well about what other companies are doing, because it's a complex time in e-commerce, and definitely a growing time.
Yeah, and everybody is going to have those questions. I don't think we are going to be done with our questions anytime soon. On that note, my personal takeaway from this conversation is going to be, if you are in a traditional industry such as construction distribution, obviously e-commerce is there to stay. Yes, the initial friction could be slightly higher just because you may not have as much digital experience, but that's where you are going to get real insight into the customer experience, and then you will find tons of opportunities to be able to improve the customer experience. So don't ignore e-commerce or digital commerce. On that note, Billy, I really want to thank you for your time. This has been a powerful episode.
Thank you very much, Sam. Everybody have a good one. Thank you.
I cannot thank our guests enough for coming on the show, for sharing their knowledge and journey. I always pick up learnings from our guests, and hopefully you learned something new today. If you want to learn more about Billy, head over to HanesSupply.com. It's HanesSupply.com. Links and more information will also be available in the show notes. If anything in this podcast resonated with you and your business, you might want to check other related episodes, including the interview with Ken Novak, who shares his insights on enabling self-funded operational plans for industrial manufacturers' digital journey. Also, the interview with Michael Box, who shares his insights on the marketplace business model and the challenges associated with launching it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and spread the word among folks with similar backgrounds. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please review and rate us on your favorite podcasting platform or DM me on any social channels. I'll try my best to respond personally and make sure you get help Thank you, and I hope to catch you on the next episode of the WBS Podcast.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.